Duncan Owen, you are CEO of Immobel Capital Partners. Thank you for joining us on BiTV.
Good afternoon.
Immobel is the largest listed real estate developer in Belgium, and it has recently announced the creation of Immobel Capital Partners with your nomination as its CEO. Can you tell us more about this new entity?
Yes. First of all, I'd say that Immobel Capital Partners is a really natural evolution for Immobel SA as a blue chip and prestigious developer. And one of the natural things to do is to expand into the real estate investment management and partnering business with long-term investors. And that's very much my task and why I'm joining Immobel Group to do that. I think the focus and the nature of us as a manager will also be very much part and parcel of the Immobel Group DNA. So we'll be, as a manager, looking to leverage off all the traditional skills that Immobel has been doing for well over 100 years, looking as a pan-European business and looking for really high quality, sustainable ESG long-term investments with long-term institutional partners.
Okay, and therefore maybe the natural question after that is, what will be Immobel Partners' investment strategy?
Yeah, well, very simple, pan-European. Naturally, because the largest markets and the largest economies in Europe are the UK, France and Germany, there will obviously be a concentration there. But again, equally, we'll look at Benelux because there's such a strength that the group already has there. We'll focus on high growth cities, typically cities that might have a GDP per capita that's well above their domestic average, might have exposures to the right types of industry, such as the technology and media, professional services, finance, etc. But in sectors, again, we'll really be looking at the DNA of Immobel. And the sectors that we'll focus on will be the offices, with a real focus on green offices. And I'll explain a little bit more about that in a minute. And of course, the residential sectors, which are very much becoming increasingly interwoven with subjects such as the 15-minute city, people wanting to be comfortable and close by in proximity to where they live and where they work. So that's going to be the focus, specialist strategies in those two sectors.
And as Immobel Capital Partners is getting started, what are your goals for this new entity in terms of investment?
Yes, absolutely. Well, we have the real privilege and the good fortune that Immobel already has an office development fund, which is up and functioning, focused in Brussels and focused in Luxembourg. And what we will do in the first case, the next strategy would be a second office fund that would be focused in the broader pan-European geography I mentioned earlier, but with a real focus on offices that are really in the modern day era good for the post-pandemic working nature. So flexible offices, sustainable things and buildings that are strategically important to the occupiers, so they can go and meet customers themselves, teams, etc. And buildings that are really smart buildings, modern buildings. And so we'll be looking to invest in areas where we can improve, refurbish, redevelop, and make those sorts of assets really work for the occupiers, which are the key. And very much on the tail of that, we would focus on a residential strategy, again playing to Immobel's strengths, but again at the heart of that ESG, a real focus on positive social impact, the type of space and environment, if you like, a sustainable city that people can live and work in.
Okay, and if you let me a last question before I let you go, on the risk spectrum, does that mean we can expect you on from value add to core operations?
Yes, very much so. It may be core with a plus on the end of it, but I think that the types of returns we should be able to generate would be commensurate with the traditional targets of Immobel. And Immobel will be a co-investing manager in these, really importantly. So we'll be aligned with the investors. And so returns could be anything in that range of 8 to 15% or mid-teens, and very much through adding value, or if it's a core and a more conservative strategy, core with a plus with active management.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time and for this insight. And thank you all for joining us, and see you soon on BiTV.
Thank you for your time.